Fine Music Breakfast with Annabelle Drumm.
I hope you're enjoying your morning here at Fine Music 102.5. We'll have a look at the weather before we continue on. It's 14 degrees in Sydney at the moment, looking for a high of 21, and in Penrith it's 8 degrees, looking for a high of 20. It'll be partly cloudy with a medium chance of showers, most likely in the late morning and afternoon, and the winds will be picking up in the middle of the day as well to get you bustling along on a beautiful autumn morning. Now, it is going to be beautiful because I've got two beautiful women here with me in the studio. Now, they are both established musical professionals in their own right who've brought together a quartet that's quite unique here in Sydney. The members of the group have appeared with the Chicago Symphony, Opera Australia, the Melbourne and Tasmanian Symphonies, the Lyric Opera in Chicago, and they've got two debut concerts coming up over the next week or so, which look to be fantastic. So I'd like to introduce Emily Granger and Georgia Lowe. Welcome along, ladies.
Good morning.
Morning.
Now, Emily, let's start with you. So you're originally from Chicago, I'm assuming?
I'm actually originally from Kansas City, Missouri.
Ah, Missouri.
Yes.
Okay. And you had a career over there. What brought you to Australia?
Well, funny story, actually. It all comes back to fine music and the Kruger Scholarship. I became good friends with a Sydney-based recorder player, Alicia Crossley.
We know her
many
well.
years ago. Yes, exactly. We met in Chicago and really hit it off, both playing ancient instruments and having quite an interest in new music and working closely with composers. And we just said, yeah, we have to play together someday. And fast forward a few years, Alicia won the Kruger Scholarship, and part of that scholarship, she decided to bring me out from Chicago to Sydney to put together a whole concert program and tour and commission some works for harp and recorder, because there wasn't anything for harp and recorder. And that was about 3.5 years ago. And I happened to fall head over heels for one of those composers based here in Sydney. And
go and tell us who it is then.
Yes, Tristan Coelho.
Oh, what an adventure.
I know.
Coming all the way out here. Did you know much about Sydney before you got here?
No, nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing.
Flying blind.
Yes. Yeah. And here I am, and I've been living in Sydney for just over 2 years now.
How wonderful. What a great story. And that's all to do with the Kruger Scholarship. Isn't that brilliant?
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
so that's a really good start. And what about you, Georgia? So you are local?
Yes, very local, actually. I'm in North Sydney.
Yeah, not so you could crawl here, then, couldn't you? It's like
Pretty much.
from the Yellowbird movie, like crawl, crawl, stagger, stagger, crawl. You could do that, couldn't you, to get here?
Yes. Just as long as I'm not bringing a harp with me.
No, that would surely make you stagger everywhere when you go.
Yes.
And you've got a connection in America in the opposite direction, haven't you? You've been over there.
Yes, I actually was studying in New York for about 3 years, which was an absolutely amazing time of my life.
Tell us where you were there.
I was in New York at Brooklyn College studying with this amazing harpist, Savan McGann. But yeah, I always dreamed of coming back home to have my career in Australia.
And you did. You worked your way up to principal harpist, is that right? Or
Yep.
at Sydney?
Playing casually as principal harpist. Yeah, that's right.
For Sydney Symphony.
Yep, Sydney Symphony in
Wow.
AOBO, yep.
That's brilliant. And how often do they draw you in to do their concerts?
Oh, when they need harps, extra harps, or yes.
So do they have many pieces where they have lots of harps?
There are definitely a few in the repertoire, and we always cross our fingers when they choose to program them. It's great fun playing in a big harp section. It's not something we get to do
Not
all
often.
the time. So
No,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
Because even travelling around with a harp, it's not exactly like a recorder with Alicia Crossley, is it?
No, unfortunately not.
Which is one of the nice things about playing together, is that we all help each other move the harp, and we all totally understand how to do it.
Fantastic. I'm trying to think. I think it was at Christmas time I went to see a concert, and we got to sit right up close with the harps. And there's all these pedals on the bottom.
Yeah.
So, Emily, how does that work? Because we don't normally see that from the audience. All you see is the strings.
Exactly.
And
And
not how
especially
much
when we're
footwork.
all the way in the back of an orchestra as well. Most people have no idea what we're doing. We're like a duck on water, and
So what are the pedals doing?
Yeah, so the pedals change the pitch of the string. strings. So we have 7 pedals for each note of the musical alphabet. So D pedal, C, B, E, F, G, and A. And each one of those pedals controls every single string on the harp. So the D pedal moves every single D string on the harp.
So if you needed an F sharp, then
yes, so
you
move the F. Yep, move the F pedal, and that changes all the strings on the harp. So each string can either be flat, natural, or sharp, depending on where the pedal is. So we're constantly doing that with our feet while we're playing.
So does that mean that you can't really start learning the harp until you're much older and you've got feet that go all the way down to the pedals?
Good question. Well, a lot of harpists start on lever harp, which is basically so you adjust the pitch of the string by moving a lever instead of playing a pedal. But some pretty amazing harpists who, you know, if they're quite short when they're younger, they'll actually have these extensions.
Like platform shoes.
Something similar, but it's attached to the pedal.
Oh,
so yeah, all these little extensions that they put on the 7 pedals. So it makes it look like quite a complicated machine with these little sort of reverse, you know, oriented spider legs or something.
It's pretty great. You can see some amazing videos of these tiny little Russian children playing harps with these pedal extensions, and it's quite fascinating.
Because I have seen one with a pretty little blonde. She looks like a little angel, but you only see the top half. You don't see the feet moving around at all. So you could do it with some ballet point shoes, perhaps, as you get bigger.
Yeah.
It sounds good. Now, how did the group get together, Emily?
Yes. So we have formed the Australian Harp Quartet, and this was something that I wanted to do really since day one of moving to Sydney. 7 years ago, when I was living in Chicago, I formed the Chicago Harp Quartet, and that really has changed my entire career and my perspective and outlook on music and chamber music. Being a harpist, we spend so much time alone in the back of the orchestra in a section of just one.
Waiting for your one bit.
Exactly, counting lots and lots of rests. And a lot of time, like most other instruments, in the practice studio, practicing by ourselves. And so it's really quite a solitary instrument. And we do have a lot of chamber music, primarily harp, flute, viola, but that's really about it. And so the harp quartet has really changed things for me, and being able to have colleagues that I get to work with intimately and opening up a whole new world of repertoire that we can play. So when I moved to Sydney and I started freelancing at the Opera House and working with the various orchestras, I got to meet these 3 amazing harpists. They were also doing the same thing that I'm doing, freelancing and playing in the orchestras as a casual.
And looking for each other.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And looking forward to, playing repertoire that has 2 harps so that we can have a section and be sitting next to each other and be in the orchestra together or in the pit together and not just by ourselves.
Right.
So here's the 4 of us, we have to do this. We have to do this harp quartet thing.
It's a brilliant idea. There can't be a lot of music, though. So, Georgia, what happened in terms of music?
We have arranged original works for the harp quartet, but what we did do was we went and looked at the programs that the other major international harp quartets are playing, basically compiled a gigantic list of it, and then got together, the 4 of us, and decided what in that list really speaks to us. So we shortlisted some favourites, and then myself and Natalie were also particularly inspired to arrange some music that we thought would really suit the harp quartet format.
Right. So at the moment, I'm talking to Emily Granger and Georgia Lowe, and the other 2 within the group are Natalie Wong and Julie Kim.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And you've arranged something for us this morning.
Yes,
I
have.
Exciting! This is so great. So you recorded it yesterday. I just feel so very special that you brought this in just for us today. And what is it, Georgia, that you arranged for us today?
Okay. So it's Eliza Aria from the Wild Swans ballet suite by Elena Kats-Chernin. So it was originally, a ballet commissioned by the Sydney Opera House and the Australian Ballet, and then she did the suite for orchestra. And this is that movement, the second movement, Eliza Aria.
Right, that's wonderful. Let's have a listen. Oh, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much for recording that. That was just very special. Can I play it again? Can I keep it?
Absolutely.
Keep it for breakfast another time.
Absolutely.
That's so magical. And it's such a neat piece anyway, isn't it? It sort of just really travels along. And what did you find while you were arranging it, Georgia?
I think I found evidence that it was as well suited to the harp as I thought it was, and it's just the most special piece. It's always a hit with audiences, so yeah.
It is. It's just such a popular, lovely piece. So at the moment I'm here with Emily Granger and Georgia Lowe. They're from the Australian Harp Quartet. You've got a wonderful concert that's coming up as well. So that's this weekend?
It is, yes.
Do you want to tell us, Emily, a little bit about the music that you're going to be performing?
Yeah, so we've got an exciting program that we put together, just a real wide range of repertoire for harp quartet, a mix of transcriptions and also a couple of original works written for harp quartet, one of which is by an American harpist and composer, John Wicke, called Obelisk, which is based on the mythology of ancient Egypt, and the obelisk being this four-sided monument represented in the work by four harps, four harpists, and it uses a lot of really exciting extended techniques.
Do you sit in a semicircle?
We do, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you've got some more common pieces. I hope you're going to play that one.
Yes.
Are you? Eliza's song. Wonderful. Kats-chernin. And other ones that we're familiar with as well?
Yes. So our own Natalie Wong arranged a really great, very famous fugue by Bach. We're also doing some Grieg, some Chopin waltzes, so things that the audience will definitely know, but will have never heard in this setting before with four harps. So it's very exciting.
And Georgia, you guys have chosen quite intimate venues to start these concerts off.
Yes.
So the first one is this weekend.
Yes, that's right.
That's on Sunday at 2:30. And what prompted you to choose the Kirribilli Centre?
Well, I've actually played at the Kirribilli Neighbourhood Centre a few times before, and it is a really delightful venue upstairs. And I think harp is great in that intimate sort of space where people can see as well as hear the sound, because it is a visual, spectacular sort of a thing, and with four harps even more so.
Amazing, yes.
Yeah. And, seeing all the things that we do together, and then when it's exactly syncopated and seeing our hands moving, it visually is pretty awesome. Watch some videos of us.
Yes, definitely have to get some videos. I'll share those around on Facebook for sure. And the following weekend as well.
Yes, at Mossman Art Gallery, which is also a great space there. And, both of them actually have, lovely wooden floorboards, which really help the sound speak really well. So I think it'll work very well there.
That sounds great. So it's two concerts. They're both on Sunday, are they?
Yes.
Right, so one this weekend, this Sunday at 2:30 at Kirribilli Centre, and one the following Sunday at Mossman Gallery, also at 2:30. And these guys have offered me a double pass to give away to you, so you can give us a call here at the station at 9439 4777. Say that you're interested in going in the draw for the Australian Harp Quartet. Either that, or you can go onto our website, findmusicfm.com, and put down your name and phone number and your email address through the contact form and say the same thing. And the draw for that will be just after 9 o'clock. Robbie, our receptionist, will be in then, and he gets the privilege of doing the draw and will be able to take the two people for each of those concerts. Otherwise, I guess it's tickets at the door, is it? You also got them on Eventbrite.
Sure do.
So I guess if they can, if listeners can search just for Australian Harp Quartet, I guess would be the quick way to do it. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming in. This has been just delightful. And I'm really pleased to have this news that you did. It's very exciting. I'm going to hang on to that. It's going to be mine.
Yes, that's fine.
It's mine. It's mine. And I will use it in breakfast again. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Annabelle.